StoneX has just released its quarterly commodities outlook, highlighting the key trends shaping global markets. Today, we are focusing on the global wheat market, a sector facing record harvests, shifting trade flows, and prices now testing multi-year lows. I'm Johanna Bota, and joining me to break down the key drivers for the 2025-26 wheat season is Ana Luisa Lodi, market intelligence analyst at StoneX Brazil. Welcome, Ana Luisa.
Hello, thank you for the invitation.
So let's start with what's driving soybean prices at the moment.
Soybean prices, the futures in Chicago have stayed above $10 per bushel in recent months, but remained capped by the ample global supply. The US is finishing the harvest of a very good crop. Brazil harvested a record crop this year, and the estimates expect a new record for the 25-26 season next year. Recently, we need to point that the soybeans prices in Chicago rose following the trade agreement between China and the US after months of tensions.
So let's actually talk a little bit more about that. Now that a deal's been reached between the US and China, what impact is that having on the soybean market?
The agreement covers the soybean market, but there are points that need to be clarified. It is expected that China buys volumes of soybeans from the US, but these volumes are not different of what we saw in the last few years. So we are not expecting an important increase on US soybean sales to China. Said that, Brazil should continue to be the main origin for soybeans to China, and China already bought more soybeans from Brazil in 2025, since our crop was a record this year. But we need to follow what will happen in the next few months and few years regarding this agreement in between China and the US.
Okay, actually, let's talk about South American soybean production. How is that shaping up according to StoneX's latest estimates?
Actually, the expectations are very good for South America. StoneX last estimate for the crop here in Brazil, the soybean production here in Brazil, is 178.9 million tons, which is a new record, and that reinforces the strong global output and contains the price. And for Argentina, the expectations are favorable too, despite the smaller planted area that is expected for the country. In Paraguay, we are expecting higher yields, but it all depends on the weather in the next few months.
Well, actually, speaking of weather, what kind of impact do you think La Nina could have on the 2025-26 season?
La Nina is always a concern for the crops here in Brazil and South America in general, because it can bring dry weather to southern areas here, to southern Brazil, to Argentina, to Paraguay, to Uruguay too. So the current forecasts suggest that it will be short-lived and weak, and so it should limit the risk of major losses for the crops here, but is still a concern in the next months. Here in Brazil, the main concern is the state of Rio Grande do Sul, because the state is the second or third largest soybean producer. And in the last few years, they already had crop issues and losses. So there are some concerns regarding the soybean production in Rio Grande do Sul here in Brazil, especially in Rio Grande do Sul. But if weather conditions remain mostly normal or close to the normal, South America could still deliver a record-breaking crop in the season 25-26.
Okay, so assuming supply doesn't seem to be a major concern, what about demand? How is that evolving, especially with the growth in biofuels?
Um, some countries are very important on the biofuel production, like US, like Brazil, for example. So the US domestic demand is healthy. It's being driven by a rising domestic use, especially by the biofuel production. That the production of biofuels expected to increase in US in the next years. And in Brazil, the biodiesel policy continues to increase the demand for soybean crush too. And the soybean exports here in Brazil are reaching new record levels too in 2025. But regarding the biofuel sector, it's always important to point that increasing expansion depends heavily on policy support and government incentives. So this can change depending on the government, but for the next few years, the expectations are very good.
Okay. Ana Luisa, thank you so much for your time. And thank you to our viewers for watching. For deeper insights and analysis, scan the QR code or click in the description to download the Quarterly Commodities Outlook, available now on the StoneX website.